Lady Charmaine, and my guest today is a Sacramento native who went from being a high school football star, model to actor, and he has appeared in television shows and films like MTV's Faking It, Straight Outta Compton, and the upcoming freeform show Famous in Love. But he's here today to talk about the much-anticipated BET miniseries as he stars as Ronnie DeVoe in the New Edition story. Help me welcome Mr. Keith Powers. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Well, I'm glad to have you on the show. Now, I know you have been busy jet-setting around the world promoting the show, so thank you so much for calling in today. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Now, my girls are huge fans of yours. That is how I actually found out that you were from Sacramento, because I don't want to say, but they Instagram stalk you, right? And so they said that, oh, Mom, he lives right here in Sacramento. And so that's how I found out. So I'm just so glad that you're representing Sacramento in such a great way.
Oh, man, I love that. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Well, I got to tell you, too, they got a crush on you. So their names are Royal and Serenity. I'm going to shout them out right now. Well, they actually love them some you. Well, anyway, I want to talk about your story because I had no idea you were from Sacramento, number one. And second, you were a football star turned actor. So I wanted to kind of talk about your journey from football to acting and why did you decide to make the transition?
Well, one, it's funny because everybody, like, when they bring back my football pass, they always say football star. Like, I was good. I was in team all league, but I wouldn't call myself great, and I wouldn't call myself great when it came to football because I took it for granted. And I took it for granted because my family, raised us into sports, so I felt like sports was second nature. I never looked at it like, oh, this is a thing I have to really work hard on because I thought it was a gift. So transitioning from football to acting was a tough process because I felt like I was losing one dream. And I never had thoughts of being an actor. I was trying to model, but before that, when I was modeling, I wasn't in love with it.
Right.
But that transition was not easy. But it also wasn't too hard, mainly because when I got signed as a model, I had one foot in the door as an actor. So when I became an actor, it was just like, wow, like, I fell in love. And that's when I knew, like, wow, I probably didn't love football as much as I thought I did. I miss it sometimes, but I'm so happy to do this now.
And you're really good at it, too, because you were also in MTV's Faking It, and you were also in Pretty Little Liars. And it's funny how you were in, like, my daughter's favorite shows, and she can't wait to see Famous in Love, which you are also a part of as well. How do you go about choosing your roles?
What'd you say at the end? I'm sorry.
How do you go about choosing your roles?
I mean, right now I'm still coming up, so a lot of my roles are just based off of me booking them through auditions. My agents do their job by submitting me, and I go in there and I kind of, I try to knock it out. We have these milestones and these goals of where we want to be and what we want to book. Like, I knew that I needed to book a TV show where I was leading.
Right.
That's what I wanted to get to help me and build my platform and do more movies where I could be the lead and carry a movie myself. So I know I had to come, with a platform to, to give these big studios interest.
Right.
And right now it's more so about me just building my resume and just building my fan base and getting me to a point where, hopefully it's sooner, but I give myself like 5 years to really be where I really want to be. Like, I'm nowhere close to my prime. And I think nowadays you see your peers going so fast, and we're in a generation where everything has to be done so quick. But really, it's a long game, and I feel like, for actors, you don't really hit your prime till like your 30s, like your real prime. And I feel like, let me take this time to keep building. So when I get to that time, I'm really where I want to be. So right now, it's just more so me and just being very versatile and really just showing people that I could be a different character so they don't see Keith on the screen. They see that character.
Well, one thing I must say, you're doing pretty good because when you were in Straight Outta Compton, many people may not know you played Dr. Dre's brother in Straight Outta Compton, which is a movie that kind of, for me, I remember when, gangster rap came in. I remember when NWA came on the scene, and a lot of us did. And so you are in two great movies that are like the stories or the soundtracks of my life, which you're going to remain on people's televisions for years because Straight Outta Compton is going to be a classic. Of course, it is right now. Now, tell me about that role and what did Dr. Dre see in you to cast you as his little brother?
You know what? That was amazing shooting that one because I grew up in a family where they were doing, NWA fans. So I had already had an idea about NWA because of my dad.
Right.
And, I loved the music already because of my dad, and I'm from the West Coast, so I instantly it meant something personal to me in my heart because I felt like, wow, I have to have a big deal of responsibility because I'm representing a guy that I looked up to, a guy whose music I listened to since my first memory of music in general. I'm playing his brother, and I think what they saw in me basically, when my audition, I think they saw the innocence. They saw the innocence. They saw the innocence I could play the little brother. They saw I don't know. I guess I reminded Dr. J of his little brother. It's weird because his brother's name is Tyree and my middle name is Tyree. So
wow,
it's crazy how that works out.
I bet that touched him. Did he know that was your middle name? Did he know that?
Well, I told Dr. Dre my middle name was Tyree, and he was like, wow, what? Like, he couldn't believe it. I thought I had offended him because he was like, get the F.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm like, no, really, who he is? He's like, what? But he was just so shocked. And Steven was like, dude, you have a song in your forehead like my brother used to have.
Wow.
So I think it was just weird, him to be like, wow, this is crazy.
So it was meant to be.
Yeah, I definitely feel like it was definitely meant to be.
Well, if you're just tuning in, we are talking with none other than Keith Powers. We're talking about his role as Ronnie DeVoe in the New Edition story coming out on BET on January 24th, 25th, and 26th. Make sure you tune in. Now, let's talk about the story now. I want to tell you, Keith, New Edition was my very first concert at the age of 13 at the Circle Star in San Carlos. So that was years ago. And to be able to see this whole story played out, that's why I say New Edition is literally the soundtrack of my life. Now, how did you find out about this audition?
Well, I just submitted it to me. They sent me an email that they're doing a New Edition story. I was like, wow, really? They said miniseries, and I just started straight. First off, I thought okay, if they're doing this, what I'm trying to figure out is who's behind it, because I don't want to do nothing that's not approved by
the members.
Yeah, and then I didn't even know all the members were behind it until I was close to booking it, and I met Ronnie on it. I'm thinking to myself, wow, wait, everyone is behind this? First, I was skeptical, but I was still going through the process because I'm intrigued by the idea of New Edition after the movie. And at first, they wanted me for Ralph, which I was like, why? I wanted to play Ronnie. Wanted me as Ralph. Go for Ralph. Didn't get Ralph. Then they brought me back for Ronnie, and I booked Ronnie. So it was crazy because I was after I didn't get Ralph, I was just kind of sad. So I'm like, man, I wanted Ronnie anyway. Why am I doing Ralph?
Now, what did Ronnie see in you to actually play him?
I think he said what he seen was just my desire to want to get him right. So at first I couldn't dance like him before I, went through my boot camp or none of that. And I just think that at first I kind of made him skeptical. He even said it.
Right.
But then he saw my drive to get better. And every day he would come to boot camp, he would see that I would get better and better and better. And I think that kind of motivated him to want me to play him.
Because that was my next question, actually. Can you dance? Because Ronnie can gig. And I'm like, okay, you got to get up there and do it like Ronnie. You got to have that little bounce in your little knees like Ronnie DeVoe. Do you got the bounce in your knees like Ronnie DeVoe? You do.
Everybody knows about that Ronnie DeVoe bounce. Yeah, I definitely had to work on it, but I got there. And I'm excited. It took a lot of work, but it's not easy. And I think you're really going to see, I'm going to say this now, you're really going to see, me putting, my Ronnie DeVoe in the If It Isn't Love routine. The bounce and, you really feel oh, snap, he was really doing his Ronnie DeVoe.
Well, I can't wait to see that.
Around Any Heartbreak is where Ronnie really got his personal swag. You started really seeing it. Because when he was young, he had it, but he was still young. But around Any Heartbreak, that's when he even said his stock went up. You see a whole different swag.
It wasn't it. And trust me, that concert, I went to all the New Edition concerts, so I'm going to let you know. So we know that concert was one of the hottest concerts. I just went to one recently that they just did here in August when they came to the Bay Area. Now, let me ask you a question. How did you handle some of the situations? Because we know behind the scenes, the guys were having arguments and even fights. Did Ronnie have to coach you on how he would handle certain situations?
Yeah, he definitely did. I mean, he basically he showed me that he was just like, around this time, I was very, I was very shy. He said, and then, like he basically, when he was younger, he was coming out, he was very shy. He didn't really talk to people. He was more so to himself. He was last put into the group, which is crazy because I was last casted into the movie. It works, right? And he was last brought into the group, so he said that he just had to get in when he fit in. He was from Cathedral Project there for Orchard Park. So that really helped me when he was younger. You'll see like earlier in the series, you'll notice that Ronnie is more shy. He doesn't say too much. You don't even really notice him, but it's just like, okay, that's Ronnie. Then as any heartbreak come around, you'll see in the film like, oh snap, Ronnie is coming into his own. You see him talk more. You see the swag change, the hair change. And I think that's big because it's kind of an arc. It's a silent arc. When you watch movies, you see a character arc, you see him go from one to another, but you see it like so clearly. With Ronnie, I think you really have to pay attention to see his arc, because his arc is very silent. And if you're really paying attention, you'll see it and be like, whoa. And I think that's what made me so proud of myself with this film, because I was able to portray an arc even when a scene wasn't, like, even if I wasn't the focal point of the scene. You still see the arc. You see me, like, put my 2 cents in here and there. You see me, like, him growing up, and I think that's hard to tell a story in a timepiece like this, because this whole thing stretches from 1985 to 2004.
You want to know what's so funny, Keith? Because I interviewed Ronnie on my show, and Ronnie is so talkative. His energy is amazing. I could have talked to Ronnie all day. His excitement and his enthusiasm. I mean, he could sell you a hill of beans, and you'd be like, okay. You could tell. He's literally amazing. I was like, wow, his energy is so infectious. And it's funny that you mentioned that how he reached his arc, and now he became, a little more talkative. Now, tell us about the castmates. I read you got an amazing cast. So tell us who's in the movie.
We have Lady Grace playing Mike Gibbons. We have Woody McLean playing Bobby Brown, who does an amazing job. It's crazy. Baisha actually does amazing as well. Algie Smith plays Ralph. He and Body Ralph. Like, y'all gonna fall in love with Algie. Algie is amazing.
Well, I was a Ralph fan. He was my favorite.
Yes, like he does Ralph best. Luke James plays Johnny Gill. Luke has an incredible voice. If you know Luke James, incredible voice. And he shows that playing Johnny Gill. Eliza Kelly plays Vicky Gill. Eliza Kelly was in The Wiz. He was in Red Tails. He was in The Butler. He was in Hairspray. Who else? I think am I forgetting somebody?
No, you mentioned everybody except yourself. We know you're in it as Ronnie DeVoe. And so,
yes, and me is Ronnie DeVoe. I'm sorry, you got Caleb from Stranger Things plays young Mr. Bell. Miles Truitt plays little Ronnie DeVoe. Dante plays little Mike Diggins. And Jaheed plays Ralph. And then Tyler Williams plays little Bobby. And I'm going to tell you right now, the kids start off the whole series. They start off on the first night and they kick it off. You're instantly going to have your heart like, okay, I'm invested. And I'm so proud of their performance because they help us. It's none of them just the why or why not. The audience stays for the next 2 nights. And I think they leave with a great impression.
Well, I definitely look forward to seeing it all 3 nights. I want to remind the audience that it's going to be airing on BET January 24th, 25th, and 26th. We're talking to Mr. Keith Powers, who is starring as the Ronnie DeVoe, Sacramento native. So proud of you. Thank you so much for coming on this show. And also, I want to let everybody know you have a new show coming out, Famous in Love. Do you have the date that's going to be airing on Freeform?
Yes, April 18th.
April the 18th. So I know all the young people will be tuning in. I know I got to check it out too. I'll be sitting there watching it with my girls. So again, Keith, thank you so much for coming on the show. And we'll all be tuning in on January the 24th. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're listening to Sacramento's First Lady, Lady Charmaine, on 97.5 KDE.
You're watching a Rich Girl Dreams production.